Welcome, and thank you for joining us today to be able to learn a little bit more about OUTLAND Denim. We understand that we're in very uncertain times right now, experiencing an economic downturn like never before in history, and we're experiencing health issues that is scary to all of us. At OUTLAND Denim, though, we see some very unique opportunities as a result of these disasters. Today, we invite you to come and learn a little bit more about the opportunity we have for you to join with us and learn about how we can use fashion to be able to change the world. Hi, we're James and Erica Bartle, and we're the founders of OUTLAND Denim. Today, we're launching our equity crowdfunding campaign. Our social impact model is built on 4 things: opportunity, living wages, training, and education. So by employing just one woman, you're not just impacting her life, but her family's life. And by impacting a family, you impact a community. As a brand, our commitment is to be able to reduce the waste that's created in producing your fashion. We're addressing issues like textile waste and the amount of water used in producing our products.
For the manufacturing side of our business, there's a huge growth market for us to start producing garments for other labels. In fact, we already have interest from multiple brands who want to manufacture with us.
Our goal has always been that this would be the people's brand.
So, for the first time, we're inviting you to own a piece of OUTLAND Denim.
So join us on this journey and be a part of this change, creating fashion that makes a difference to the planet and the people. I had the opportunity to travel with a rescue agency to see what the problem of human trafficking and human exploitation looked like firsthand. I'll never forget that trip and seeing a young girl that was for sale and the fear and intimidation in her face. I remember that night just wondering why someone wasn't out there looking for her, and what hope did she have, and how would anything ever change without an economic solution. I remember leaving that night absolutely devastated, picturing one of my nieces and what it would mean if one of them were taken and sold into a situation like that. I don't think any of us can imagine anything worse than one of our loved ones being taken and sold like this. I was motivated to be able to come home and find a solution. It was very clear that it needed to be an economic solution, and therefore we started looking at a business model that would address the issue of vulnerable people. How would we be able to find and create something that addressed poverty at the root cause of vulnerability in most cases? And so we spent 6.5 years developing a business model that addressed just this. We wanted to be able to give the people, the vulnerable people, the opportunity to get themselves out of harm's way. We knew that it was never going to work if it was us coming in as the white savior and saving the day. But instead, if we were able to give them the tools and the necessary things that they needed to use their own skills and talents to be able to find a better future for them and their families, and as we've now seen, their communities as well. Our business model consists of 4 pillars for our social impact. The first thing is we give opportunity to those that may not get it otherwise. This means that they may have a disability or they've come from a background of exploitation, and they come into our workplace, and from the moment they start working with us, we start paying them a living wage. A living wage means they get to live a lifestyle like you and I get to enjoy, where we can save for the future, where we can pay for health care, where we can even go out for dinner on a Friday night. That's the basic necessities to living. And then there's education. Education is one of the most incredible elements of our business model that creates the greatest change. By being able to educate these seamstresses on things that they may have missed, like finance, household budgeting. They might be earning more money than they've ever earned before now, but they might not know how to use it. They might know how to plan for the future. So by bringing in trainers to be able to teach them these skills, it means that you're now creating something that's genuinely sustainable in the household. Around that, we've got education around languages, education around self-defense, and lots of other women's health needs. And when you put all of these things together, and when they're built into the business model as what happens every day at work, you see this profound change. Partway through this process, we were interviewing some of our staff, and one of the ladies, in fact the first lady we ever employed, came and said that she had been able to build a home for her family, who previously lived under a plastic sheet. It's at this point, though, that I feel it's really necessary to point out to you that the changes that were made for her were made by her. They weren't made by OUTLAND Denim. OUTLAND Denim just gave the opportunity and tools for her to make the best of it or not. This particular lady, she did make the best of it. She completely changed hers and her family's life. She was able to build a home for them to live in. Like I said, they were living under a plastic sheet. They now have this home to live in, and as I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I've reached my career high. I can't believe that this business model could have that kind of power in somebody's life. And then she went on to say that she had also been able to buy her sister back from someone who owned her. I know this sounds like a movie, and I know it doesn't sound real to us here, but this is everyday life for people all the way around the world. People made vulnerable because of our industry, the fashion industry. People made vulnerable because it's more important to countries like ours to have cheap, what we call affordable product. But at what expense? No longer is that going to be an option. And as a result of the global disasters that we're facing today, we see an incredible opportunity for a reset, for us to be able to rebuild our industry in the way that it should be built, where everybody wins, where nobody's exploited. We don't believe that exploitation should ever be a part of fashion. Our social impact model has proven itself to get our seamstresses out of poverty through their own efforts. This is what makes it genuinely sustainable. This is what makes it genuinely powerful. When a woman's come from a background where she may feel she's lost her dignity, yet over a period of years becomes an expert in one of the hardest products to make in fashion, being jeans, and then earns more money than she's earned before, and as a result able to provide for her family and input into her community, all of a sudden one of the byproducts of that is that she finds that her dignity has been reinstilled. I find that an incredible outcome from a business that we never dreamed could be so powerful. We went down this rabbit hole of this social impact, and to begin with, didn't give a whole lot of thought to the environment. I remember anybody that would talk to me about the environmental impact of fashion and talk about the changes that need to happen, I honestly thought they were tree-hugging hippies. Until I saw it for myself. I saw the reality of what fashion is doing to our environment. Fashion being up there between the second and fifth worst polluters of all industries in the world due to the consumption, overconsumption of clothing and the poor quality of clothing that's made, but then the poor manufacturing practices that are used to be able to bring down the cost of producing. When we started this project, we knew that it was really important to be able to produce in a way that was responsible, not only for the people, but for the planet. So as we learned more about it and started to adopt these practices, we learned that it's not easy to be able to produce jeans in a sustainable manner. Jeans are actually one of the worst contributors to the environmental disaster that is attached to the fashion industry. Denim uses a lot of water in the production of its cotton, and then the way it's processed and is dyed, and the chemicals that are used in those processes, and then all the way through to the dry processing and the putting of the jeans together and coming out the other end of the washing, and then the re-washing for customers after they bought and purchased the product. How would we address those things? We thought in the beginning, and we had to go down a large, expensive road to be able to find some solutions. But I'm pleased to be able to say to you today that because of the development of nearly 10 years now in this space, we've been able to come up with the ultimate way that is available today, anywhere on the globe, of producing your denim. It starts in the cotton field, and for us that means that we choose at the moment to use organic cotton. We use the organic cotton which is grown in Turkey. It's then taken to our denim mill in Turkey, which is called Bossa. And Bossa are one of the leaders in sustainability, environmental sustainability, in the way they dye and process their fabrics. They then use organic or vegetable dyeing processes to get the color in our fabrics, and then it's shipped over to our manufacturing facilities in Cambodia. Once it's in our manufacturing facilities in Cambodia, this is where we can have the greatest impact. The first step is our social impact by helping the people or giving the opportunity to the people that work within our factories. But then on an environmental level, it's by using the greatest technology that's available today to completely take away use of water in certain processes, but nearly even more importantly, to use very specific chemicals that change the impact of the way your denim is produced. For us, that looks like laser technology, meaning that it's a dry process now where any of the wet processes used once before no longer exist. We go through to e-flow technologies, what uses nanobubbles, misting organic chemicals over the fabrics to be able to get the effects of what once would be submerged in thousands of liters of water with harsh chemicals. And then we go on to ozone technology. Ozone technology is incredible. It does away with the toxic bleaching processes. Those processes are some of the worst environmental impacts that happens within the washing process. And by using this new technology, we're able to completely change the way that's done. At the end of it, we then reuse and recycle and filtrate all the water, which means that the product that comes out the end is as environmentally sound as possible. But as a company, we're not happy with as possible. We want to go further. Our goal is to create a product that leaves the people and the planet in a better way as a result of being produced than if it hadn't. And so what that means is partnerships with industry leaders to be able to create and look for new technology to be able to achieve these things. For us, that looks like partnerships with universities, it looks like partnerships with other startups and other companies that are forging a path to be able to create these kinds of methods of producing and then reusing and eradicating fabrics from landfill. When somebody buys a jean from Outland Denim, that's what they buy. But if you combine our social and environmental impact together and you put that into a product, like you see with Outland Denim jeans, you have a profound economic impact as a result. The communities that we work within are completely changed as a result of being able to open factories in communities that may not get that kind of opportunity otherwise. We open factories and the result that we see, in fact, the latest factory that we opened, 3 new businesses opened around our factory as a direct result of us being there. We see it as really important to work with the community, to be able to see that the educational programs that we run with our staff make their way out into the community. How does those learnings impact their families? But then once you've impacted that family, how does the community change as a result of this? All of this is great, and it sounds amazing, and it probably sounds to you a little bit like it's a charity. I want to make really clear to you today that we are not a charity. We're not a give back program. We're not aid. We are a business. We are a for-profit business. And in fact, I want to point out to you that that's what makes this so powerful. We believe that if business is going to exist, that every person along the way should be benefited as a result of it. So that means the person who grows the seed of cotton, the fiber gets processed all the way through to making the product, to the media who talk about the product, to the retailer who sells the product, and the sales associate who makes their living from selling this product. And then finally you, the consumer, those who buy it. Our investors have been key in being able to achieve the goals that we've achieved. And so they have become a really big focus for us. Hence why we are opening this opportunity up to you. This is a very unique opportunity that only became legal 12 months ago here in Australia. Our goal has always been, as I've said, that this would impact as many people as possible. And we believe that you need to be a part of that. We want you to make money from becoming an investor and a shareholder in this, so that you can use your money to be able to grow your wealth and as a result, be able to spread wealth out throughout our community, to see more people being able to benefit from companies that are growing fast like Outland Denim. You've heard about the impact that the brand has, and we're incredibly proud of it. This makes up our unique selling proposition, what makes our brand unique from others in the marketplace. Our social impact, our environmental impact, and our economic impact. We call that our USP. We've invested $6.25 million into creating the world's most sustainable denim brand. This investment means that we have an incredible opportunity now more than ever in the marketplace. As the world is crumbling and retail is struggling, we have something that brands can only dream of having, which is a brand with the most unique, powerful story that changes people's lives. The difference in searches for sustainability over the last 3 years has more than tripled. We've seen that millennials are more interested in buying products that have meaning and purpose over brand name. We see this as the angle that we will use to be able to get a fair market share of the premium denim space. But as a result of COVID-19, we've had to pivot. We've had to look at other ways of expanding our business and being able to benefit from our unique selling proposition. I'm very proud to be able to tell you today that we've just signed Karen Walker on as a long-term manufacturing partner where we will produce for her brand, where we're able to use her leverage to be able to go out to the world and expand on what we're doing. Not only Karen Walker, but we have other brands that are ready to start manufacturing with us to be able to benefit from this unique story. We'll never sell or manufacture to a brand that directly competes with Outland Denim, but we will align and work with those brands that are willing to work with us and see that the impact that we're able to have through manufacturing and sales generate more opportunities for the people we work with in Cambodia and also on an environmental level. Most brands have to work their way through to be able to get any kind of sales, what we call a sales funnel, where they have a unique selling proposition which goes into getting brand awareness and eventually getting a purchase. We're very unique in this, in that we've put so much investment into our foundation. Again, we call this our USP. It's our foundation. It's the investment that we've put into creating the most unique business model. Often you'll see a brand put small amounts of investment into a niche or an angle that they believe makes them unique and then invest tens of millions of dollars into brand awareness. As a result of building our brand this way, where our foundations are so wide and stable, which means we have stability in a climate like we're facing right now with an economic downturn, we have seen that media and celebrities have got on board organically at no cost to our brand. In fact, we've had tens of millions of dollars worth of free editorial exposure in publications like Wall Street Journal, London Financial Times, Vogue, Elle, The Australian. So many of the best publications around the world have featured our brand because of the 10 years and $6.25 million we've invested into creating the most unique business in fashion today. We've launched into the best department stores all the way around the world. We launched in David Jones here in Australia. We went to Canada and launched with Harry Rosen's and Holt Renfrew. And then on to the US just recently and launched with the best 2 department stores, Bloomingdale's and Nordstrom. This is all because we have such a unique angle in the market right now. Never has there been a time more important than now to rebuild our industry in the way we want it to be. Retailers all the way around the world now, more than ever, brands all the way around the world now more than ever, are looking for the unique angle. And therefore, the opportunity Outland Denim has to be able to sell our brand into those retailers and produce for those brands that need the unique selling position that we have built is massive. We want you to join us. We want you to benefit from this growth. We believe that the next 12 and 24 months will see incredible things happen with Outland Denim, with our manufacturing capacity and ability to be able to garner more brands into the family. But by bringing you on the journey, we also add another element. We create ambassadors. You guys will become advocates for our brand. Not only will you buy in, but you'll probably start buying our product. Once you buy our product and you wear it and you love it, you'll talk about it. And so if we're able to bring hundreds or thousands of people into the brand family and treat you as an investor and update you with everything that's going on. You're not only a part of changing people's lives, but you're a part of changing the way fashion operates in the future. We've hit some incredible milestones. Just recently, winning the Thomson Reuters Foundation Stop Slavery Awards in London. We were the only company in the world to win across 2 categories with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal Awards. We're an associate partner with Global Fashion Agenda, and we're a certified B Corporation. All of these things mean so much to us because it solidifies that we are leaders in the space of sustainability, that we have the ability to be able to solve these environmental and social problems that the world now is rallying together to try and solve. We're leaders in the marketplace, and the marketplace is ripe for a brand like ours to be able to lead the way into the future. I've only been able to tell you a very small part about our business today. There's so much more and so much more opportunity to be able to share with you. We're going to open up for questions just shortly and encourage you to type your questions and send them in. We're going to answer as many as we're able to. But the next step is up to you. We want to give you the opportunity to become a shareholder in Outland Denim. For as little as $250, you will own a part of this business where you can benefit not only from our brand, but from our manufacturing processes. We want you to make the best investment in our business, one that benefits you well beyond knowing that you're a part of the solution rather than the problem. So go, put your questions in, fire them away. We'll do our very best to answer as many as we can. If we can't get to all the questions, feel free to email them in, follow the links, go to birchall.com and have a look for Outland Denim. You can express your interest there. Or go to our website and learn a little bit more about our supply chains and what it really looks like. Have a look at our products. Well, thank you for listening and understanding a lot more about our brand. Now is the time to keep those questions coming through. It's been great to see that there's some people watching and that there's already some chatter going on. We held a live earlier here in Australia today, which was really successful. And we had a lot of amazing questions that came through, which highlighted the real interest that's really out there in the marketplace for a brand like ours to succeed, especially in our current climate. But feel free, tap away, type away. I'll see the questions come up and do my very best to answer them. Well, we had some technical issues earlier today as well. It looks like we're just having a couple more. We're not sure whether they're showing up on the screen. Some of the questions that were asked this morning were very much around investment and how if somebody buys in, how are they able to either resell their shares? What are the requirements around that? And I guess the answer around the resale of shares at the moment is we're not an ASX company, we're not listed there, but you can resell your shares. It just means that you're reselling your shares amongst other investors. Usually you'll sell to somebody else in the pool of investors that's already in Outland Denim. And so there's the opportunity is absolutely there. We expect that over these next few seasons and these next couple of years is where we'll see the most rapid growth for our business. And so we think that getting in now is a really important time, especially as the conversation has changed in fashion to becoming very much centered around sustainability being one of the key pillars of what most of the media are talking about as being probably most important in fashion in the future. What supply chain disruptions are you forecasting with COVID-19? That's a really good question, and look, we are pretty confident in our supply chain at the moment. Thankfully, we are stocked really well with raw materials, and we're able to continue to produce. Currently, our staff are at home. We don't have them in the factory at the moment. It fell at a really good time for us. We were right in between seasons and manufacturing one season to the next. And so, going forward, we're quite confident that we'll be able to get through this as unscathed as anybody. But of course, there's going to be disruption to supply chain on some level. Well, what about the industry makes it difficult for an approach like Outland's? Fast fashion, cheap clothing. The way we've been educated as consumers to believe that, cheap clothing is okay. I guess that's changing quite rapidly, though. I mean, if you were to look at the amount of times sustainable denim, sustainable products are searched online now, the rate is going up at a massive rate. In fact, this part of the market, the sustainability part of the market, is growing so fast that if you were to look into the marketplace, you'll see that all the major brands are now looking for a sustainability angle. For us, that's what gives us excitement, is that we know that we're the leaders in this space. We've spent 10 years developing a business model that addresses all three of the issues of sustainability, being the social, environmental, and economic elements. As a result, we've had this recognition by authorities in the space, Global Fashion Agenda, being invited to be a part of their associate partners, being a B Corporation, EcoWage, and there's a lot of other recommendations and authorities that will verify that we are absolutely leaders in this space. And so we see that as now a great opportunity to be able to monopolize as the market moves into looking for brands like this. Post-COVID as well, there's going to be a greater need than ever before for brands to be able to have a compelling story, a unique angle to be able to get cut through in the marketplace. Not only will the marketplace be thinned out, as unfortunately lots of brands won't make it through this, all it will do is make way for brands like Outland Denim to have a way greater impact and have more dominance in the market. So if you want to invest, you head over to Birchal.com and look for Outland Denim there, and then you'll be able to put an expression of interest in. It's really important right now that people put their expression of interest in, because it'll give you the first opportunity to invest when we open it up for offers. We will open up for offers on the 14th of April to the public, but you'll have a couple of days before that, if you put an expression of interest in, to get your investment, which means that you'll secure your opportunity to become a shareholder. We've got one more. You do need to be over the age of 18 to be able to invest. You don't have to be an Australian resident. You can be based in London or the US or wherever most of you guys that will be watching are based. It's very easy for you to invest that way, done through this platform. It takes care of everything that you need to make it quite a smooth transition. But again, head over to Birchal. There's more information there. If you put an expression of interest in, you'll also be sent out an offer document, which has about 80 pages of information for you to read across your weekend, and start to learn about the inside of Outland and what it really looks like, the operations, the opportunity. You'll get a lot more understanding there than we've been able to explain to you in this short amount of time. It's great, Max. Glad you're in our genes. Yeah, we've got some big plans for the brand, over the next few years, and raising equity is a necessary part of that. To be able to grow at the rate that we want to grow and the rate that we have been growing, we see it as, it's vital to be able to do so. And we like we say in this campaign, we're the people's brand, and we want to be here to benefit as many people as possible. And that does mean you as an investor. We want you to make more money from this than you would from your traditional investments. We believe that by proving that you as an investor earn more out of this means that we'll have a greater ability to be able to influence an industry. If we influence an industry to changing their behavior to produce responsibly in this way, then the impact that can be had on the world will be far greater than just Outland Denim attacking this problem. So we have big plans to raise this equity this round. I mean, we're raising in the worst possible time, but what is incredible is that we are still getting everyday expressions of interest, well beyond what we ever thought we would get, even amongst this economic downturn. So I think that's a very clear message that the public are ready for a brand like ours. They're ready to be able to get on board with products, brands, and companies that are going to be a part of the solution. I mean, we have an incredible opportunity right now to reset and rebuild in the way we want our world to be, rebuild and support those brands that align with our own values. And I think that that's something that's going to come out of COVID-19 as a real benefit to Outland Denim. Oh, I just missed that question. There we go, it's back. Yeah, that's a great question, how we're planning to partner with other brands and how the relationship would look. That's, well, so far it's looked like this. Karen Walker is our very first brand that we've taken on board, and it started with a collaboration late last year. It worked really well. They were really happy with the product we were able to produce, and as a result came back to us asking if we could continue manufacturing for them. The reason we want to manufacture with Karen and her team is because they really do want to be a force for good and create change through their brand. I mean, that's one of the first things we look for. We don't want to partner with somebody who's just going to exploit the story. They need to be genuine. But also, they can't compete directly with what we sell, and they compete in a different, well, they don't compete, they operate in a different part of the market to us, and so therefore they're a perfect partner. We've got a lot of other brands right now. I mean, consistently we are approached by brands, but we've got 3 other large international labels right now that would like to produce with us, that we're going through that process of due diligence from both sides, working out whether this is something we want to do. We've brought this forward further than we would have had it not been for COVID-19. But that is one of the beauties of Outland Denim and the resilience that we do have in the marketplace. When the economy changes, when things do shift, we have more strings to our bow to be able to make sure that we can weather those storms. The investment window opens on the 14th of April, and it'll stay open for 4 weeks. So you'll have a good opportunity to get involved over that period of time. We absolutely recommend, obviously, getting in as fast as you can. We are going to potentially lower the amount we were going to raise initially. We will set that over the coming days, actually. And so getting in fast, getting an expression of interest in will be vital to make sure that you do secure your place. I think we'll have time for maybe just one more question. It's actually like 2:30 in the morning here in Australia, and it's been amazing to wake up after a few hours sleep to come and chat to you guys. In fact, we've had so much support from the Northern Hemisphere in London and in the US and in Canada that it is a privilege for us to be able to talk to you and share just a little bit more, and then to be able to bring you guys in as potential shareholders as well is a huge deal. So thank you to everybody who has joined in. If there's no more questions that are going to pop up, feel free to send them through later via direct message, straight through to the Outland Denim Facebook or Instagram pages. You can email us. And again, thank you for joining. Hopefully we cut. Nope.